Yeah, hey everybody, happy Wednesday morning back from the gym. Still kind of got the gym clothes on, but why not? We're gonna get grubby here right now. Let's go out to the fence line. We got a very small project to do here today, but it's an important one, and that's securing the fencing. One of the problems that you have when you have a place bigger than your average 5,000 square foot, and this is 300 feet by 100. This is a 30,000 square foot property. Hello, Georgie. Is you're going to have to worry about issues of fencing. And of course, when I first moved here, one of the first orders of business, because people were cutting through the property, cutting off the big corner here to get up to the main, to the Avenue of Love, up the Street of Shattered Dreams. You know, I'd be sitting there eating breakfast and just see a whole parade of people just come through to school and everything. So the first thing I had to do was secure the pull away the old wooden fencing, which was totally broken down, and have this chain link put in. And I have a 12-foot swing fence on the back, and I want to have that widened to about 16 feet or so, because I want to be able to take the rig through there to get out. It's going to be a lot easier to get in and out. I'm just struggling to get the rig out the front there. But today's project is this fencing. Gets more and more kind of dicked up, and because this guy leaned a shitload of stuff against the fence, it loosened it some. But this is okay. That's not going to go anywhere, I don't think. But just have to make sure this is all secure as best as it can be. Stuff like this is okay. These dogs got big watchdogs over here, but we get down here and this is where the problems begin. This I want to get secured a little better on here with some kind of corner, and then down here we've kind of lost it. So I want to put a bigger board over top of this and cut the height. Everything else is okay because they have these vicious sticker bushes and stuff in here, so the dogs don't come into this area here. The rest of it looks okay, so to speak. I want to get the maximum mileage because this is thousands of dollars to replace all of this fencing. And this is really good here. This feels okay, but things gradually kind of sink down a little bit along here. But I just want to patch this up here, kind of make sure I'm not going to have any other issues. As you can see, one of the boards fell out. I want to kind of claw that one back in. I don't want the dogs running over here going crazy, so try to get this secured back in. That might be okay if I can do that. So let me get some drywall screws and see if I can get this fencing secured. I don't know what the hell that is over there, a grain mill? This guy needs some definite work on cutting grass around here. Alright, so I'm going to sit this down a minute and get my tools out, and let's see what we can do on this. Alright, first thing I want to try to do is secure a start of a fresh cross beam here. This is actually going to be toe-nailed in, toe-screwed into position here. Start that one. We'll secure the one on the other end there, and this will give me a little more strength. I think I'm actually going to lower that down some. put that down so I can capture this. Bring this right on the level with this existing cross beam up here. And give me something good to screw into here. Okay, I'm gonna stick this board in over here. Try to work this board back in, and then get this screwed and tighten up, and this will give a lot more security in here. And go down. I might pound the stake down there and get this fence a little more secure. This, like I said, this guy just piled all this shit up against it, and it was pushing the fence over and weakening it dramatically, so that wasn't a good thing. So let me go ahead and try to reposition this board here, and we'll see if we can get this screwed into position. Alright, that's pretty much scooched across there, and I want to try to get one in here. This is kind of the linchpin one. These aren't gone anywhere now, but this one's a little shaky. I'd like to draw this one in a little bit, and it's going to be a little bit challenging. I'm going to have to get a screw in it to pull it out and reposition it. Pull it out while I screw another screw in. So this should be interesting. I need a screw to hold and pull it out, and then while I'm screwing in the top part there. So this is definitely a two-handed operation. That turned out pretty good. Actually, I actually decided to put in a corner piece here. This is redwood that I had left over from building the wheelchair ramp. So I threw one of these up here, and then I used this to pull in while I screwed the upper one here to capture the one in the back. So that is really on good now. Very secure. Nothing's going to come out here now. I'm going to go ahead and keep going down the fence line. This looks a little shaky over here too. Some things have kind of come out in the way of screws on that too. So see about getting that secured too, though. Although that feels pretty good there, I don't think that's going to go anywhere. But the whole fence is all disjointed and stuff now. This will stay put good. Oh! Domino, what are you doing? Domino, what did you do? Domino. Domino, what did you do? Domino, what are you doing? You better get down there. That sound you heard was my this dog lunged at me through the, I didn't even see him on the other side there, and all of a sudden he just jumped up right in my face. I was putting the camera through, and boom, all of a sudden he bit and pulled the GoPro off there, and it fell down on the ground. I don't know how Jen did it. She like lifted up the board there and pulled it out. I tell you, that's some scary stuff. I wouldn't have done that. Oh man. Anyway, this seems pretty secure across here. This is a little shaky over here. You know, so I want to be real careful and maybe lay another one across here to get these boards secured. But you can bet I'm going to be a little more careful with the old digits, because that is a big black lab over there. And Jen's fearless about animals, but that sure as hell doesn't mean I'm not about stuff. Wow, that was really loony. So take another board here. I was getting ready on the phone with the guy next door, you know, because there's really no white pages anymore, that everybody's cell phone, to try to get him to call his wife to come out and get my camera. But holy smokes. All right, I'm going to try to get this secured here, guys, in this area too. Woo! Catch my breath after all that excitement. I think that's all pretty secure now. None of them are going to come off anywhere, so don't have to worry about any breakthroughs. I know it looks like hell, but it's got to last another couple years where we lay in new sections of it. So I guess we'll split the bill on that. So last thing I want to do is try to get a wedge fabricated to get down here to get this fence secured a little bit. I'm going to cut a angle on a 2x2, drive it down, and then screw it in here. So hopefully that'll give some good support here, because this is a bit shaky right now, so I'm not liking the way that is. So let's see what I got over here. I'm gonna have to go grab another 2x2 like that one in fashion and shape that. So I'll be right back. One good reason not to throw anything out, if you see this angled board here, this is what I use. This is the other half of what I cut out from this piece for the wheelchair ramp up the front, to have a tapered rise to it. So I'm going to go ahead, it's already nicely tapered here. I'm going to go ahead and cut about 2 feet here, and then we're going to drive that into the ground. I have the sledge here, and we're going to get that into the ground, and then get some nice long screws and get that secured. Going to be a beautiful wedge to go there, and I love having some portable tools like the radial saw here with the 18-volt. Really works nice. So I'm go ahead and put a little bit more of a taper on this, and then we're going to get pounding this into the ground, guys. Good news, I didn't even have to use a big wedge, because this is set in concrete down here, as you can see. So I'm actually just driving this wedge. Boy, that just took that fence and that just firmed that up like crazy. Man, that thing is like a rock now. That thing is like a rock. That was good, real good. So we can let that shim stay there. We can just bust it off like that, and that is really nice on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and check the rest of the line here, make sure we don't have any other weak spots here. I think it should be pretty good. This feels okay. The new section here went in a few years ago. I think everything else is okay here. Yep. So I'm going to check down the line a little bit here. Still kind of shaken up with that dog. You know, stupid to put my hand over there and video from the other side. Luckily, Jen was just able to lift up this panel here and just reach in below. I just did not see that dog coming at all, and that's pretty weird. So. All right, well, it is what it is, right? So, all right, I think I'm going to go ahead and put a piece on there just to be sure, although I think that piece is pretty secure. The fence is ratty looking, but it does the job. It's not exactly a view sight from inside, so. Whew, boy. Spooky. Yeah, she was able to lift in and just grab it. Otherwise, I would have sent her out for diversion. to the front fence out there. And then while she was occupying Domino, I would have reached in and gotten that. So this looked like hell, but this is actually very secure here. So yeah, guys, never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. Everything else feels real good. They just shouldn't have leaned all that friggin' weight on here. This feels like it needs a little more securing here, so oh boy, I'll try pounding that in a little bit there too. So all right guys, the fence line is officially secure. I'm glad it's kind of a cloudy and overcast day as opposed to being real hot. Humping the boards around, but the fence is now much more stable in position and much more secure against, you know, my biggest fear is the dogs interact with each other on both sides of the fence, and then we have a melee that's impossible to break up until one of them dies or is seriously injured, or perhaps several of them. So this makes me feel pretty good today. Like I said, it's another temporary fix just to keep things going along, but this is a hell of a lot of fencing here, and we're not talking about just a wire fence going along like you'd find at a farm or something. We're talking about some serious redwood here, so we're talking about a lot of money to replace this. So I want to keep this going in the back as long as I possibly can. Well, had a little bit of action today besides doing the fence. Lucky I pulled my hand back just in time and sacrificed the GoPro, but man, good thing I got it back too. Thanks for being along, guys, on a working on hump day here on the Rancho. The work never ends.